Hello and welcome back to Dukascopy TV. You've joined me on the fifth of a six-part series of sales talk with Ago Cluytens. Ago's joined me in the studio once again. Ago, thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
Now today we're talking about this used car salesman trauma. Can you tell me a bit about what this is?
We all have this story in our lives. We all got something that was sold to us by someone who wasn't exactly, a great sales professional. Let's put it that way. And we still today have a certain image of sales. At least most of us do. Most people view sales as something that is pushy, perhaps negative, perhaps not all that sincere. And a lot of people sort of have this internal trauma, especially those of us. Maybe trauma is a big word, but especially those of us that need to sell for a living. And I'm not talking about just professional salespeople who sell all the time or the majority of their time. I'm also and especially talking about people that are entrepreneurs or people that run a business or people that are in professional services, bankers, traders, lawyers. We all need to sell for a living, and we have a certain what's the word I'm looking for? We have a certain dislike of sales and salespeople. And so a lot of the things that I hear my clients say are things like, I don't like selling. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a naturally born salesperson. And so the used car salesman trauma is something that we all carry inside ourselves, and it holds us back in spite of the fact that sales has since then dramatically evolved. And selling today is much more about being a strategic advisor, a consultant, a coach, a peer to your buyer than it is about trying to push a sale.
Ago, I hear you say quite often that we're all selling all the time. What do you mean by this?
Well, we are all selling all the time. If I look at we sell at work, we sell to our friends, we sell to our spouse, we sell to our kids. We sell all the time. We convince all the time. We negotiate, we influence, we persuade, and that's what selling ultimately is all about. It's sort of recognizing the fact that sales is a part of life. It's normal. We all sell all the time. Whether we are a 54-year-old accountant or we're a 20-year-old athlete, we all sell all the time. And selling is an inherent ability that we have, which is much more about connecting with others and jointly going through a process to get to a certain outcome than it is about trying to push or impose our will on others. So the natural born salesperson is an urban myth, like the Yeti or like other things. It doesn't exist. Nobody is born a natural born salesperson. The people that are not natural born salespeople or don't think of themselves as such often tend to sell better, more, and get far further in their careers than those that do. And the reason for that is because they have none of that baggage. If you are a full-time sales professional today and you've had anywhere over 10 to 15 years of experience, you've learned to sell in a certain way. And it's often harder to get into the new style of selling, the consultative style of selling, the what I call unselling. So selling in a non-salesy, non-salesy way. It's often harder to get into that if you're a trained professional than it is if you're not.
And so what traits do you think are essential when it comes to good sellers today?
Sure. I think the first big one is listening. And by listening, again, I mean listening with a broad, open mind, without a previously established agenda. What a lot of salespeople do is they listen with intent. So they listen and they listen for cues, little triggers that they can use to slip their product or service into the conversation. A great salesperson watches the process and not the outcome. And again, it's related to the fact of having that previously established agenda. Your average salesperson or someone who's really desperate to make a sale, they will work towards one end, which is making that sale. Now, if you try to do that, a couple of things will start happening. First, you're not going to connect with your buyer in the way that you otherwise would, right? The second thing is you're going to miss opportunities to sell other things that are perhaps better suited than the product that you're thinking about selling, and you're going to miss those opportunities. So by focusing on the process, and by the process I mean the steps of the sales process, you're able to move closer towards a sale, again, without ever really selling.
Well, Ago, thank you very much for your insights today.
Pleasure.
And if you want to catch Ago's last in the series, you just have to click back to the Dukascopy website at the same time again next week.